Hi, so a bit of a different video this time. I past what, 6, 7 months now. They've resurrected the intercompany crossover event books, and it's always like the heavy hitters. So we've had the Deadpool, Batman, Batman, Deadpool, and with all the backup strips as well. And now we've got the Superman, Spider-Man, and Spider-Man, Superman ones coming out. But I thought I would give my, because I'm not a big fan of them, I must admit, because they are a gimmick. But I'll give my kind of like my fantasy football league of crossovers between DC and Marvel. um, if you know me on Threads, so if you just know me personally with comic taste, my tastes don't always veer towards the popular. So my crossover events might be slightly different to what you're used to. So we'll just go through. It's just a fun little video, and what would be good is if I could get your feedback after to see what your dream crossover teams would be. So if you've just seen the intro, there's suddenly an image of the Defenders and Justice League Dark. So that's my first one. By Defenders though, I mean like the weird era. So you got like the late 70s, early 80s, when it went more into like supernatural veins. You had people like Valkyrie, Gargoyle, Nighthawk, Son of Satan, people like that, as well as the regular ones of the Hulk, Namor, Doctor Strange, Silver Surfer, etc. Where it's much more of a mixed bag, where you didn't just have like the A-listers, you had like the C, D, E, and Z listers even. And that's my creme de la creme of superhero teams. I like it when superhero teams are really mashed up and weird. That's why I love like 70s, late 70s, early 80s Avengers, because that had really weird like cosmic characters coming in and stuff like that. And same with Justice League Dark. Justice League Dark is my favourite Justice League team of all time. It just works. It makes sense. I just love comics that veer into the supernatural and the weird. So yeah, those both hit my sweet spots. So yeah, so my first dream team would be the Defenders and Justice League Dark. Like I said, that weird era of the Defenders and the Justice League Dark is fucking weird anyway. It's just fantastic. So, but I think because it's two big teams, you couldn't have it like as just one issue. And that's what really pisses me off with a lot of these event crossovers, where it's just one issue or one 22-page story and there's loads of backups. I hate that. It should be at least a 2-issue or a 4-issue miniseries event, and we have some really top tier creative teams on it. Ones who are good at doing horror arts, like say for example Kyle Hartz, or Tom Mandrake, something like that, and have some really good writers on as well, like Jeff Lemire or James Tanyan the Fourth, or I don't know if he'd do it nowadays, but Jen DeMatteis. So yeah, so my first one that I would love to see would be the Defenders versus team of just League Dark, like I said, for a 2-issue or 4-issue event miniseries. Okay, so now we shall move on to the next one, which you shall see what it will be in the next image. Okay, so the next one, as you can see, would be the Son of Satan, Damon Hellstrom, and John Constantine. In the Batman Deadpool crossover, they did Constantine with Doctor Strange. I thought that was a really bad fit. You need somebody for Constantine to cross over with him who's an equal bastard like he is, and you don't get more of a bastard than the Son of Satan. So yeah, so my second choice, and it kind of like segues nicely from the Defenders one. So this could be like a fun backup strip or like a spin-off from that one. So you get the Son of Satan teaming up with John Constantine, Hellblazer, and for me it'd be like an occultic road trip. There'd be lots of sinful acts going on. For one, John Constantine's bisexual, so I'm sure he'd try it on with the Son of Satan. So that would cause some kind of awkward, funny comedy going on. Um, yeah, they could really delve into the whole Seven Deadly Sins with it. I think it'd be work better if it'd be like an occultic gonzo road trip comedy. So that is my second choice, and we shall now go on to the third one. Okay, so this one I think is the most no-brainer of them all, and I'm surprised it's never been done. I mean, they both came out roughly around the same time. They're both swamp monsters. There's just so much parallel similarities, and yet it's never been celebrated. It's never been. I mean, I'd have loved to say somebody like Alan Moore or Len Wein or Steve Gerber to have done something like this back in the 80s. So, of course, this is Man Thing and Swamp Thing. Do I need to say more? Both muck encrusted monsters, but both distinctly visually they're kind of similar, but powers wise and what they are as an entity wise is very, very different. So that could be played up. So I mean, I know James Tannion the Fourth is doing a crossover with Swamp Thing, and Something is Killing the Children. But yeah, this is what I'd love. This it'd be a great monster mash. These two swamp monsters, and I don't think they should do where they clash with each other, but something happens where Swamp Thing, because something happens with Man Thing, and Swamp Thing could come and find out what's going on, some kind of disturbance, because Man Thing senses fears. There could be like this all-encompassing fear that's taken over the world. So yeah, I think that'd be a really, really good one. Okay, so that's my next. Now, let's see. Okay, now we're going to jump quite a lot of years into the future for my next one. Okay, so the next one, we've moved from the swamp, now we've moved thousands of years into the future, and we have the OG team of Guardians of the Galaxy. So the Guardians 3000, the one which has Starhawk, Vance Astro, people like that, where they meet up. I mean, this makes so much sense. Again, timelines meets up with the heroes of the 30th century from um, DC, Legion of Superheroes. I mean, again, a no-brainer. This would be brilliant. There's a die-hard, I'm one of them, a die-hard fan base of Legion, and I honestly adore the original Guardians of the Galaxy. That is my Guardians team. They were odd. They were really, really odd, and there was something so appealing about that oddness. And the new Guardians, it's okay. I mean, I love Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning, and I like what they did with it, but it just didn't feel the same. It was too clean. So yeah, I would love the oddness of the Guardians 3000 meeting up with the more clean-lined, almost like Star Trekky kind of Legion of Superheroes. I think it again creates a really good epic sci-fi space opera. So that's my next one. Now let's see what's next. Okay, so as you can see, the next one again, it's got a magical theme. This is Satana and Doctor Strange. Now this one would be a bit different. This would be in the Black Label oversized format. My ideal artists would either be Hayden Sherman or J.H. Williams III, and this would be a supernatural romance. Because it's Black Label, it sets out continuity, so there'd be nothing hindering it. So in this version, Doctor Strange would be single, Satana would be single, they're both magicians, and it'd be set both in the early days when Doctor Strange has just got his powers, he's just learning in his virtues, being Sorcerer Supreme. And the same with Sun, she's taken on the mantle from her dad. And they meet, sparks fly, supernatural shenanigans happen as well, and they take it from there. So yeah, I think you can do a lot with that. Like I said, it'd be a romantasy that would sell by the bucket loads. That's a really big um, genre now in fiction, and I think it'd be a good way to draw other readers in. Before I do my final choice pick, I want to just give some honourable mentions to ones that I did think of, but I couldn't really elaborate more on them because just like ideas popped in my head. One again, which is just like a natural pairing, which I think again they did badly in the spin-off because they didn't pair these two together; they paired them up with other people instead. The most obvious of any characters in DC or Marvel, Nightwing and Daredevil. Why didn't they do that in the last one? And then Justice League America. Oh, it's been done. No, this is a different one. What is the analog team in Marvel for the Justice League? Squadron Supreme. Now, Justice League did something similar with when they did that one by Grant Morrison, when they did kind of like their version of the Squadron Supreme, which was like a version of the Justice League. So it got very, very convoluted. But I think that'd be brilliant if they did that. And then another one which, just for me, it just tickled my fancy because they're both androids, but very, very different androids, the Vision and the Red Tornado. And finally, from the ones what I don't want to elaborate on much, they're just ideas that quickly popped into my head. Sergeant Rock and Easy Force meeting up in the Second World War with Nick Fury and his Howling Commandos. So now we come on to my last one, and this one will be an Elseworlds book, and you'll realise why in a second. Okay, so the very last one, and for me, I think this is the main one. This would be an Elseworlds series in a nice prestige format, because it's DC who'll be handling it, because we don't trust Marvel. So this would be the 1960s incarnation of the Doom Patrol, the very early 1960s incarnation of that, and the very early incarnation, the Jack Kirby, Stan Lee version of the Uncanny X-Men. So it'd be the early 60s when they first started, because they both, again, like Swamp Thing and Man Thing, they both started roughly around the same time. And it would be a really quirky art pop retro kind of comic. It'd be quite humorous as well. It'd be quite meta. And there's one writer who has written both books and written some great acclaim, Grant Morrison. He'd be the architect for the books. And there'd be one artist who could get that nice retro vibe for me personally. There's a few, but this one I think would sell because of what he's done recently with Batman, and that's Chris Samney. So yeah, that would be my dream project to see from both stables of publishers. 1960s Doom Patrol meets 1960s X-Men. There's so many parallels, so many interesting parallels. And I know that a writer like Grant Morrison could really riff off those, and it'd be very meta, it'd be very weird. I mean, both teams are really weird anyway, if you think about it, especially from that time period. Yes, so that is my dream project. Let me know what you think. I really enjoyed doing this. It's taken a long time. It's taken me nearly an hour and a half to do this video because I've been chopping and changing, putting inserts in and everything. So I hope you appreciate the effort that's gone into it. Even though it looks like it's a short video, it's taken me fucking ages to get this done. If you want me to do more left of center kind of videos like this instead of just my normal reviews, etc., do let me know. It's just a quirky idea that came out, and I've really enjoyed doing it. So do let me know and give me feedback of this. And do let me know as well what crossovers would be your dream crossovers from both companies. Okay, bye.